जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन बल्लभा गिरिवर धारी जय गोपी जन बल्लभा गिरिवर धारी यशोदानंदन ब्रजजन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रजजन रंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रजकचार अष्टोत्तर सत श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरण अरविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिला प्रभुपाद की इस्कॉन बीबीटी फाउंडर आचार्य शिला प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर सत श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस शिला भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी महाराज शिला प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नाम आचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से बोलो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गिरिराज गोवर्धन की जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की वृंदावन धाम की मथुरा धाम की मायापुर धाम की नवदीप धाम की गंगा माई की यमुना माई की तुलसी देवी की भक्ति देवी की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असेंबल्ड डिवोटीज ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असेंबल्ड डिवोटीज ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असेंबल्ड डिवोटीज ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भगवती सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्ठिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। नमो पंकजनाभाय नमो पंकजमालिने Namo Pankaj Netraya. Namaste Pankajangrahe. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 11, Text 17. Book. Can I get a book? Jagannyo nottamam vrittim. Jagannyo nottamam vrittim. Anapadi bhajen naraha. Anapadi bhajen naraha. Rite rajanyam apatsu. Rite rajanyam apatsu. Sarvesham api sarveshaha. Sarvesham api sarveshaha. Jagannyo nottamam vrittim. Anapadi bhajen naraha. Rite rajanyam apatsu. Sarvesham api sarvashaha. Jagannyo nottamam vrittim. Anapadi bhajen naraha. Rite rajanyam apatsu. Sarvesham api sarvashaha. Jagannyo nottamam vrittim. Anapadi bhajen naraha. Rite rajanyam apatsu. Sarvesham api sarvashaha. Nottamam vrittim. Online. Okay. Jaganyo, low person. Na, not. Uttamam, high. Vrittim, means of livelihood. Anapadi, when there is no social upheaval. Bhajet, may accept. Naraha, a man. Rite, accept. Rajanyam, the profession of the Kshatriyas. Apatsu, at times of emergency. Sarvesham, of everyone in every status of life. Api, certainly. sarvashah, all professions or occupational duties. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhaycharan Arvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Except in a time of emergency, lower persons should not accept the occupational duties of those who are higher. When there is such an emergency, of course, everyone but the Kshatriyas may accept the means of livelihood of others. Purport. The occupational duty of a brāhmaṇa should not be accepted by persons in lower social orders, especially Vaishyas and Shudras. For example, an occupational duty of the brāhmaṇa is to teach Vedic knowledge. But unless there is an emergency, this professional duty should not be accepted by the Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra. Even a Kshatriya cannot accept the duties of a brāhmaṇa unless there is an emergency. And then, even if he does so, he should not accept charity from anyone else. Sometimes brāhmaṇas protest against a Krishna consciousness movement for creating brāhmaṇas from Europeans, or in other words from Malechas and Yavanas. This movement, however, is here supported in Srimad Bhagavatam. At the present moment, society is in chaotic condition, and everyone has given up the cultivation of spiritual life, which is especially meant for the brāhmaṇas. Because spiritual culture has been stopped all over the world, there is now an emergency. And therefore, it is now time to train those who are considered lower and condemned, so that they may become brāhmaṇas and take up the work of spiritual progress. The spiritual progress of human society has been stopped, and this should be considered an emergency. Here is solid support from Nārada Muni of the movement known as Krishna consciousness. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Gurau Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya. Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dīnabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Brindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevicha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pricharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. My sincere obeisances to all of you, and we seek the blessings so that we can assimilate the message of Srimad Bhagavatam today. As we are reading from this chapter, The Perfect Society, 4 Social Classes. So here Srila Prabhupada translates this verse with the use of the word emergency. So I'll just read the translation again. Except in a time of emergency, lower persons should not accept the occupational duties of those who are higher. Like Kshatriya should not accept for brāhmaṇas, or Shudra or Vaishya should not accept the Kshatriyas or the brāhmaṇas. And then he says, when there is such an emergency, of course, everyone but the Kshatriyas may accept the livelihood of others. So when there is emergency, everyone but the Kshatriyas may accept the means of livelihood of others. So Kshatriyas cannot accept the means of livelihood of others. Kshatriyas have to earn their own livelihood when there is emergency. Everyone else can do, but Kshatriyas cannot do. And here it is explained that an occupational duty of Brahmana is to teach Vedic knowledge. But unless there is emergency, this professional duty should not be accepted by Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra. Even a Kshatriya cannot accept the duty of a Brahman unless there is an emergency. And then even if he does so, he should not accept charity. So that's what he meant. That he should not accept the livelihood, that means the charity. So Kshatriyas cannot accept the charity. Just like to Brahmanas we give charity. Kshatriyas cannot accept the charity, although Kshatriyas may engage in teaching or preaching the message from the Vedas. They can do that. So here there is a nice reference of the word usage of emergency. I was looking at the dictionary yesterday to understand the meaning of emergency, and it said a serious, unexpected and often dangerous situation requiring immediate action, like 911. When we call 911, there is emergency, and immediately the ambulance comes and the fire brigade comes, within few minutes, within 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever it is. And these emergency stations are nearby in the locality wherever we stay, so that they can be reached in a certain amount of time. They have a SLA, service level agreement, that they have to reach these houses within this period of time to help someone who is in a dangerous situation and a serious situation. So we also see that Srila Prabhupada started this movement in an emergency. He came at the age of 70 years in emergency, and he came in 1965. In 1966, he initiated 11 of his disciples. That was an emergency. And all of those 11 were just, hippies who were of the counterculture. And some of them were just coming for a month or two. So Srila Prabhupada, through the mercy of the Acharyas, he initiated them, and in that emergency time. And then later in 67, Srila Prabhupada, actually his health was not good. He went back to Vrindavan Radha Damodar temple, and then again he came back to America. So it was all done in an emergency situation, because Srila Prabhupada understood that there is an emergency or urgency to surrender to Krishna, especially in the Western world, also all over the world. And when we read Prabhupada's books, then every line of the book, every sentence of the book, in his tapes, you will hear him that there is an urgency. Emergency and urgency are very, similar words. You have urgent care and you have emergency. So emergency is more related to like risk of life. And Srila Prabhupada in emergency or urgency is pleading all of us, you and me, to take Krishna consciousness seriously. Death, tragedy can come at any moment. And the greatest tragedy is that our faith is stolen away by Maya and by her various representatives. So we cannot be complacent. We cannot be in a comfortable position at any moment of our time, because there is danger at every step in this world. Padam padam yad vibdam natesham. In between every step also there is danger. But when we take shelter of the Lord, then we can actually cross over this material world, which is big as an ocean. And this material world is compressed like into a small puddle of water which even a small, baby can cross over. It converts into the water contained in the hoof print of a calf when we take shelter of Krishna. Govinda Das in one of his poetry says, Bhajahu Reman Srinanda Nandana Abhay Charanarandare. Jivana Talamala. He says that this life is like a drop of water on the lotus leaf. And the lotus leaf is so slippery, so glossy that any time that droplet of water can slip away, without even getting a slightest of disturbance. So our life is compared to that. Our position in society, our health, our family, our members, our friends, everyone exists as a drop of water on that lotus leaf. It is going to fall. Inevitably it is going to fall. It's not like perhaps or maybe it will fall. Maybe it will stay for very long time or it will not fall forever. No, it is going to fall. And we don't know when it is going to fall. We don't know that. It often happens at the least expected moment. So a Vaishnava always accepts problems at every moment. This seems like a very pessimistic statement, but it is the reality. Srila Prabhupada says that at the least expected moment. So when we expect things to go wrong and then things happen, then we don't feel so much shocked. Then we accept those things as they are. And in this reference to emergency situations, Srila Prabhupada often uses the example of a goat. A goat is generally taken to the slaughterhouse. They are fed very nicely, green grass and whatever they like. And the slaughterhouse person is very expert in pacifying the goat and feeding the goat. And there is a long line of goats and they are eating the grass one by one and they are enjoying, and the closer they get to the slaughterhouse, the better grass they get, the nicer grass they get. And the goats in front of them are getting their heads cut off. But the goats which are behind, they don't see that. They just see the grass. That's what they are seeing. So Srila Prabhupada said that this is how Maya is actually orchestrating the entire material existence. So don't be foolish trying to be a goat, trying to be happy and enjoy the comforts of this world, the comforts of family life, or nice floor in the brahmachari ashram. Don't be complacent. These are Srila Prabhupada words. So we should know that any facility to enjoy in this material world is Maya's trick to somehow or other distract us away from the urgent need of Krishna consciousness. Kunti Devi says that all these things are actually impediments to devotional service. High birth, too much of opulence, beauty, high education. So they distract us away from the urgency of Krishna consciousness. And when we listen carefully to Srila Prabhupada's lecture and we listen to his voice, so there is always a deep sense of trying to give us that urgency, that it has to be done now. And so we have to take shelter of Krishna, we have to surrender to Krishna, we have to give our small disagreements over small things and work together, because the world is being condemned by the direction of the modern society. There are so many deviations in the model world. So when we work together, then we can actually preach this message of Krishna consciousness so that everybody can be happy. And Srila Prabhupada's example, we can see how he worked in so much urgency when he came to the West. He wanted to give everyone a chance to be Krishna conscious. And there were like lazy hippies who were just lying on the streets. They never worked a day in their life. And when they became in contact with Srila Prabhupada, they were like distributing books like 15 hours a day. Right? And they were distributing out in the blizzards in New York, and there's so much of winter and snow is falling, and the streets are so icy, black ice. And when they came home or the temple, they came only for Mangala Aarti and chanting their rounds. They were always out and distributing books. And just not for 1 day or 2 days or 1 month, they did it for years. So in all the American cities and airports where practically no one is favorable, they basically they were risking their lives. There was a danger of getting beaten up or being put in the jail or blasphemed, but yet they were so enthusiastic. So that was an emergency situation. So how did Srila Prabhupada even transform these people? Because he gave them the sense of that urgency to surrender to Krishna. And if we are convinced of this emergency to take Srila Prabhupada's message to heart today, then Srila Prabhupada will empower us to do incredible things. The soul is infinitesimal, but Krishna is infinite. Infinitesimal cannot do great things by themselves. But when they are empowered by Krishna and his associates, then even infinitesimal can do great things. And we understand that things are beyond our control many times. We cannot control a lot of things because Krishna is the ultimate controller. Bhoktaram yagya tapasam sarva loka maheshwaram suhrdam sarva bhutanam gyatva mam shantim richati. Krishna is the controller and proprietor of everything that exists. And this is the peace formula. Those who know this are shantim richati, are peaceful. But yet, we as infinitesimal soul, we are trying to become the controller and proprietor of everything. And that is the root cause of all the conflicts, of all the disturbances, of all the anxieties that exist today in the world. Everyone wants to be the controller. No one wants to serve. And as long as we have that propensity, we will always be under the modes of this material nature and will suffer in this material world. As long as the jiva serves the Paramatma or the Supreme Lord, in that situation, the jiva will be happy. So, the person who has gained great pride for being a powerful controller can be put even in a very helpless condition. Like there is an example of Gajendra. Gajendra was such a powerful elephant, Who is more powerful than an elephant? He was the controller of the entire forest. And he was in a state of crisis, in a state of emergency, which was beyond his control. Because the crocodile had, attacked him. And in the jaws of crocodile was Gajendra's foot. So he in his jaws of crocodile, and he was getting weaker and weaker because elephant is not a water animal and crocodile is a water element. So water animal. So he was getting weaker and weaker while he was fighting, and he realized that he's defeated. Although he was so powerful, he had so many friends and relatives who were standing from outside and they were shouting and they wanted to help, but they couldn't help because they are not like water animals. And we are thinking that we are controllers, but actually we are under the control of God. And Gajendra, from his previous life, he remembered the prayers to the Lord. So he chanted all those perfect prayers in Sanskrit language in glorification of the Lord at this time of emergency when he was about to die. And the Lord actually appeared. The Lord came and helped him. With the Sudarshan, he sent the Sudarshan and cut off the neck of the crocodile. So yes, when we pray intensely from deep within, understanding that yes, it is an emergency situation for us in our life, because anytime life here can be taken away from us in any situation at any least expected moment, then we offer the prayers to the Lord. Then we can actually see the reciprocation and we can take shelter of Krishna. So we see many examples also in Mahabharata, like Kunti, Mother Kunti, she was also under the same situation. She had all of her sons, they were exiled into the forest for 12 years. They suffered so much of atrocity, so much of pain from the Kurus. And yet, she was grateful to Krishna. She was praying that, my dear Lord, please give me all these miseries so that I may take shelter of you. Because she understood that in these times of emergency, can one take real shelter of Krishna. What is that verse? Vipda Shantu. Yeah. Tatra Tatra Jagat Guru. Yeah. So she is praying like that. And one of the disciples of Srila Prabhupada asked, Prabhupada, Kunti Maharani is praying for all the calamities to come upon her so that she can take shelter of Krishna. Should we also pray like that? That may all the difficulties come upon us? Then Srila Prabhupada says, no, you don't need to pray like that. Anyways, calamities are going to come upon you. Janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha doshanu darshanam. Adi devik adi bhautik adhyatmik. All these miseries are anyways we are going through, whether we want it or we don't want it. So in this verse we saw that there is discussion of the 4 social statuses of life: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So in one of the verses in the 12th canto, 3rd chapter, it is also mentioned about emergency situation. It says that businessmen, this is mostly for Kali Yuga, what will happen in Kali Yuga, that businessmen will engage in petty commerce and earn their money by cheating. Even when there is no emergency, people will consider any degraded occupation quite acceptable. So there will be no emergency in Kali Yuga, but still people will do the things which they should be doing in emergency. So although other occupations are available, people do not hesitate to work in coal mines, slaughterhouses, steel mills, deserts, float oil rings, submarines, and other equally abominable situations. As also mentioned here, businessmen will consider cheating and lying to be a perfectly respectable way to do business. That is in general circumstances, not an emergency. These are all the systems of the age of Kali. So we see here that Kshatriya cannot accept the duty of Brahmana unless there is emergency. And then even if he does so, he should not accept charity from anyone. So these are the guiding principles that are in Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srila Prabhupada mentions that at the present moment, like in the Kali Yuga, society is in chaotic condition and everyone has given up cultivation of spiritual life. Very difficult. There are so many distractions, deviations, weapons of mass distractions. Started with television and then now to mobile handset devices and now to more artificial intelligence technologies. They are creating more and more chaotic condition. They are good if they are used for the right purpose. But most of the internet, we know the maximum percentage what internet is used for. It's all for illegal or nonsense things which only pollute the mind, which creates more hatred, more crime, more murders, rapes. This is what is being widespread. But at the same time, if we use the technology correctly for spreading the message of Krishna, for spreading thankfulness, gratitude, compassion, kindness, forgiveness, love, then we should do that, because already so many people are putting so much of junk. Then why not we as devotees put more and more good things about Krishna consciousness? And because spiritual culture has been stopped all over the world, there is now an emergency. And therefore, it is now time to train those who are considered lower and condemned so that they may become brāhmaṇas and take up the work of spiritual progress. So when there is emergency, when you have, less people in a certain, which are skilled in certain area, then you have to call other people who are from the different domain or different areas. So if there are less Brahmins, then we have to invite Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra also to take up that work of the brāhmaṇas, which is to spread the spiritual knowledge. And Srila Prabhupada mentions that the spiritual progress of human society has been stopped, and this should be considered as an emergency. Here is solid support from Nārada Muni of the movement known as Krishna consciousness. So as we know, Srila Prabhupada, when he spread the Krishna consciousness movement all over the world, he initiated, so many people from different background into brāhmaṇas. And the real definition of Brahmana is Brahman iti charati iti Brahman. One who understands Krishna is actually a Brahman. So there is no limitation of country or background where they are coming from or what they have done in the past. It just depends on how much they have taken up this Krishna consciousness to their heart. That is the Guna Karma Vibhagasha. So here is a solid support from Nārada Muni. So Nārada Muni is actually supporting this movement known as Krishna consciousness. Whatever Srila Prabhupada has done, Nārada Muni is supporting this movement and confirming that we need more brāhmaṇas who can spread this movement, which is spreading the sweetness of Krishna consciousness, the chanting of the holy names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Because Nārada Muni is always chanting the names of Lord Hari. Nārada Muni bajaye veena radhika raman name. So he's himself chanting, and through his example, he's giving this confirmation and the affirmation to all of us. And through these beautiful temples of Shri Shri Radha Giridhari, here, the movement of Krishna consciousness is spreading. And this is the emergency room where all of us as emergency doctors are going out and helping those people who are in emergency and spreading this movement. So with cooperation, if we do this, we can actually please Krishna and Srila Prabhupada and make our life successful. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Comments or questions anyone has? Online or offline? That is the mic.
Krishna, thank you. This time of emergency is continue.
Yeah.
And, how we can act in this time? What we should do?
Yeah, like we discussed in times of emergency, like in Srila Prabhupada's time, there was a lot of book distribution, Harinam Sankirtan, and then Prasad distribution, preaching programs. Srila Prabhupada himself will go to different houses and preach, Kirtan class programs. So all these are different wings wherever we have inclination, wherever we are inspired, we can contribute in that area and manage our time in such a way that we can first do our sadhana sincerely, because unless we are nourished, we cannot nourish others. Unless we have a mask, like in the flight they say first put your mask on yourself and then help others. So unless we have the mask on ourselves, we cannot. If somebody is drowning, if you don't know how to swim, how will you save them? So first we nourish ourselves sincerely with our sadhana, chanting our 16 rounds sincerely, reading Srila Prabhupada books, always in the association of devotees. And then we take out our time to go and preach in whatever way we like. Preaching is not only, just speaking on the mic or It's also cooking nice prasadam. It's also worshipping the deities, dressing them beautifully. It's also being an exemplary person where when others see you through your example, they get inspired. So that is also preaching. Sitting in the class and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam class is also preaching, because you are giving that impression of the importance of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. You know, when people see you, then others are also attracted. Oh, he's sitting, so let me also hear. So that is also preaching. So, yeah, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Anyone online? You want to speak something, Prabhu? Your thoughts? Just share something. Prabhu, mic. Bless us with your words, Prabhu.
As you were mentioning, it's same, towards the same line. Like the symptoms of Kali Yuga is still, I mean, the emergency situation is still there, but
yeah,
everybody, if devotees can contribute different ways in according to their nature.
correct.
Whatever they're good at, help out with that service and all that. So it's gonna, emergency situation's gonna last for a while.
Yes. Want to speak, Shankarshan Prabhu, something? Naveen? Share some points, whatever you liked.
I just had one question about
Yeah.
kind of comparing like a devotee's kind of sense of emergency with maybe like more like common example in America of like yeah, maybe any faith, I guess, where they get to be like one gets to be like 70 years old or 80 years old, and then they're like, you know, really feeling like this emergency of okay, I'm going to die soon, so I need to practice something. I need to you know, worship God. I need to pray more. But how does that compare with how a devotee should approach their life, you know, throughout their entire life? And I don't know if you have thoughts on that.
So you're saying that when a devotee is young, they feel emergency, like in America?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
what age is that?
I guess I was thinking maybe like a non-devotee in America, maybe when they're 70 or 80, like even like this is kind of like a good example.
70 or 80?
Yeah, there's like a minority that they'll kind of feel like, okay, I believe in God, so I need to pray more. I need to.
Oh,
know.
that's when they start praying at
Yeah.
70, 80.
But then, like a devotee, on the other hand, that there's like a sense of emergency always, you know, throughout their entire life. They're thinking, okay, you know, I have this, sense of urgency. But anyway,
Yeah.
I don't know if you have thoughts on that. But.
Yeah. So yeah, a devotee doesn't becomes like, sense of emergency means the devotee is always happy, always grateful. Emergency doesn't mean he's in anxiety or anything. Emergency means he understands like how I should utilize my time, whatever I have, whether I should utilize it for watching, 3 movies a day, or should I rather read Srimad Bhagavatam? That is the choice that a devotee makes. Emergency doesn't mean like he's always in anxiety or he's paranoid about, oh, I'm going to die right now. But he understands these things and he expects that difficulties can come at any moment, but he's ready to handle those situations by taking shelter of Krishna. So he knows the solution, he knows the problem. So therefore he is very much relaxed. Na shochati na kangshati. He's not thinking what happened in the past, he's not thinking about future. He's in the present and he's always Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. He's always happy. So that is the meaning of emergency. And if somebody is 70, 80, old people, and they are thinking, yes, there is an emergency now, let me take shelter of God now, like you said in America or anywhere in the world. But what are the chances that something that they have not done for 70, 80 years, they can do now? It's very difficult to do something, which you have not done your whole life. So yes, if they some people may, if they get good association, yes, why not? And therefore, this, like Srimad Bhagavatam explains that for Prahlad Maharaj, this should be started very early so that we have the practice of doing this. Otherwise, it's very difficult, like Srila Prabhupada says, it's very difficult to teach new tricks to old dogs. Very, very difficult, you know. And that's why you see in the universities, mostly young people are there. Very few old people are there, like 95%. So yes, if somebody feels a real urgency at old age, why not? They can take up to Krishna consciousness. But the best is to start early. Does it make sense, Prabhu? Did I answer a question? Or? Okay.
I have a question. You told that devotee means happy, means brāhmaṇa prasanatma. But you speak about this like liberated devotees. This is our goal.
Yeah.
But what we should do?
We should.
If we not yet brāhmaṇa prasanatma.
Yeah, we should just follow the Vaidhi Bhakti, the process, the regulated process of whatever has been given by Srila Prabhupada and our Guru Parampara, our Gurus, whatever they are telling us to do. And we discuss also with senior devotees what we should do in a certain situation. So yeah, we should just, do the chanting, we should hear Srimad Bhagavatam, whatever is the normal process that is laid out for us, we should continue to do it. And we should always feel very grateful that we have been given this. And we should not be complacent, like it is. One of the points I mentioned is that sometimes we spend so much time in our devotional life, we become very complacent. Oh, this thing is I'm very used to it, I know everything. Or I'm so used to chanting or reading or hearing. So we should always be enthusiastic. And okay, I have heard this so many times. So let me hear it from the perspective of as if I'm a very new devotee. First time I'm hearing it. We should always be like, a knave that yes, I'm very new. So that's when we will always be enthusiastic. And because Krishna is unlimited and these words are also unlimited. Always we can find new things. So number one, we should not become complacent. Number two, we should be very grateful for what we have got. And number three, we should take shelter in the instructions of our gurus from our heart. So if we do this, then we will be Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. Slowly, we'll reach there.
Slowly.
Slowly or immediately also. Some people can, like Prabhupada says in one tak chanat, immediately you can become like that also, if we take that surrender and shelter.
I want to share that this Lord Chaitanya movement, he opened it by spread it by his example, that congregational chanting Hare Krishna.
Yes.
And I see devotees, not understand it. We know about it, but we not use it. And but when like my experience when Harinam group, I was in Harinam group, that this when you in this like everyday Harinam, then more easy practice everything else because of this big mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Srila Prabhupada. You mentioned about instructions, but we have so much instructions, but we should understand what the main instruction, because of through this preaching, this spreading, this kirtan outside, we have so much happiness. We have experience that it really works. When we go to Harinam and involve people, if we go with and not make efforts to involve them, they even not pay attention on us.
Yeah.
But when we try to involve, and then Krishna sends people which interested in it, and when they involved, then he's so happy. Then Kirtan rise up with ecstasy, and this gives enthusiasm to continue do it.
Yeah.
Because of many harinams, like no enthusiasm, and then people even not attracted. It's just like crazy people, something do something. And, but when we, and also we should pray to Krishna, to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to
Correct.
come to our harinam, because of this is harinam. This is not like only entertainment. This is like sacrifice, and we should give something. And what we what we have our force air, our how to say. We should sacrifice something, not only come and be in harinam and something happens. No, we should serve. This is our service. This is not like joy time.
So you remain enthusiastic. If you are so enthusiastic, looking at you, people will become more enthusiastic. So why not? If you like Harinam, you go for Harinam, and then looking at your enthusiasm, others will be attracted. So start whatever new we want to begin. It has to be from our side first, and that is the example we can set. So. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anant Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Girdhari ki jai.